everyone. What up, what up, what up? My name is Frank Salas. This training is for Ezzey, and we're going to show you how to make it easy to make sales in the social media marketing space. This training is designed and dedicated to you as a social media marketing salesperson, and everybody in the Ezzey organization is a salesperson. So without further ado, I want to jump right into this, and this is SMMA. That's short for Social Media Marketing Agency. So you got to know the lingo. You got to talk the talk if you want to walk the walk. And a lot of sophisticated business owners know what SMMA means. It's different than an MA, a marketing agency. So it's a very, very specific niche. We're providing a specific product to the marketplace. And I just want to talk to you guys really quickly about lead generation. So first and foremost, what is a lead? Someone who needs marketing. Can anybody tell me here on the call who needs marketing? Anybody know who needs marketing? Any guesses?
A business.
A business. Absolutely. You hit it right on the head. Anybody who wants to make money from a marketplace. And we got some people chatting in. That's awesome too. Everyone. Nathan Brown says everyone. Absolutely. So everybody needs marketing. But because everybody needs marketing doesn't mean that we have to work with everybody. And my intention is for when we go to the marketplace is for us to handle qualified leads only. So let's go ahead and talk about a qualified lead. First and foremost, can anybody tell me in their own words what they think or what their definition of a qualified lead is? Can anybody tell me what their definition of a qualified lead? Let's see, we're getting some responses in. I'm breaking up. Awesome. I just shut off my video. Hopefully that helps us out.
Someone who has a need and can afford it.
Absolutely. Someone who has a need and can't afford it. Give me some more stuff, guys. This is going to be a very participatory training. It's different for each business. Someone who needs sales, signups, appointment set. Absolutely. Great stuff. Great stuff. So a qualified lead are all of those things, but they are also decision makers. These are people who control the checkbook. It could be the chief finance officer. A lot of the people that I reach out to get my foot in the door are the chief finance officer. And that might sound a little bit weird, but let's think about that logistically. The chief finance officer controls the money. Nobody is pitching the CFO. The CFO is actually happy when he gets pitched. And I love reaching out to them, and because it makes them feel important, I actually get to see what they're spending their money on, and they know their numbers. And we offer a unique product where we can measure and track everything down to the penny. So you can see if we gave Facebook $50, where did those $50 go to? What market segment really responded? How many views it would get for that? What was our reach? You can't do that with billboards. You can't do that with newspapers. You can't do that with magazines. You can't even do that with mail outs. They're just guessing, and they can't track their returns on their investments. And that is a conversation that is best suited for a chief financial officer. He may not be the decision maker, but he's an influencer to the decision maker. And this is where we're going to run into a lot of people, especially in our niche. We're working with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of small businesses. I can't tell you how many people I've met that say, oh, my niece runs the social media. So the niece, even though she doesn't know anything about social media, she influences the decision maker, her uncle, her aunt, about the social media and where to spend money there. But ultimately, a qualified lead when it comes to Ezzey marketing is somebody who absolutely, without a doubt, must see marketing as an investment and not an expense. And the reason for that is if I'm having to sell those persons or those influencers, those decision makers, those business owners on marketing being an investment and not an expense, if they see marketing as an expense in any way, shape, or form, they're not open to Facebook ads. They're not open to Instagram. They're not open to websites. They're not open to this because their first and biggest obstacle and objection is that marketing is an expense. And I need them to see that it's an investment. when they put money into marketing, money comes back. If that isn't true for them, I'm wasting my time. I need to move on because that person is going to be a harder sale, not an impossible sale, just a harder sale. And our job right now, as we're ramping up Ezzey, is to go after people who are already seeing marketing as an investment and not an expense. So I really want to drive that point home because this is going to help make your job a lot easier, especially during the launch when we have a lot of incentives with, extra commissions and higher percentages as we're getting this thing off the ground. So before I move on to the next step, does anybody have any questions when it comes to what is a lead or what is a qualified lead? All right, seeing as there's no questions, I'm going to move on to the next step with the lead mindset. So when I come to a lead, I don't know if we've got somebody chatting in. So far, so good. All right, thanks a lot, Brian. Really appreciate that. So up next is the lead mindset. When it comes for me, when I'm lead generating, first and foremost, I'm not trying to make a sale. When I'm lead generating, all I'm trying to do is make a first impression. That is it. Because first impressions are everything. You cannot go back and make a first impression for the second time. It's just not possible. People are going to remember you from the very first start, and that first impression is everything. So that's first and foremost what should be on the top of your mind. The second thing that I'm doing is I'm gathering information. I want to know what are their goals, who are the decision makers, who are the influencers. This is going to allow me further on down the deal because we are in the B2B sales cycle, business to business sales cycle. This takes longer. We're not a retail store. You can't come to our store and buy something off the shelf. We have to work with you. We have to identify your goals. We are doing business with other businesses, but if you really break it down, businesses are made of people. Without people, there are no businesses whatsoever. So this is the mindset that we have. Does anybody have any questions about the lead generation, the lead mindset, or anything like that before we move on to the next part? Awesome, awesome. You guys are rock stars. Great stuff. All right, appreciate that, Nathan Brown. All right, so guys, I want to talk to you guys about the USP. This is our unique selling proposition. This means what sets us apart from other people. And first and foremost, and the reason that I'm here with Ezzey is the financing. I can't tell you how many people want what we offer, but they can't afford it. Rightfully so. The stuff that we offer, by the way, going to the second part, which is price, the average marketing agency charges anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000. I'm going to write that down so you guys can see that, and you guys should really write this down as well. So $3,000 to $7,000 is the average price to work with a marketing agency. And by the way, companies, businesses, entrepreneurs, and brands, before a marketing agency will ever even have their first meeting with them, they're required to pay that retainer, much like a lawyer. And for most entrepreneurs, for most small businesses, that is unattainable. They just can't do that. I want to show you something else. This is Glassdoor. I actually pull this up in front of business owners when I'm talking to them about price. So obviously it's telling me Cancun because I'm here in the area. But let's go to San Francisco, a top tier market, and let's type social media. If somebody is in a top tier market like San Francisco and they want to bring on their own in-house social media manager, social media marketer, look at the offers right there. They're paying in between about $40,000 to $140,000. That's the range that they have. Now the average is about $40,000 to $50,000 per year. So that's if, let's just go ahead and say 40,000 low end. Most small businesses can't bring on another person for another 40 grand. There's not enough meat on the bone to add that extra $40,000 per year. And our packages, guys, are one time at $2,500 or $5,000 to get started. This is what they need right now. This is their next step. And this will allow them to grow to get to that next level. But for right now, this right here is just unattainable. And we're providing an offer and a service that is financed, so they don't even have to pay the $2,500 or the $5,000. They just have to pay 300 or 600 bucks. And any business owner has that in their bank account. And again, that is the reason that I am here. The next step is that we have bleeding edge marketing tactics available to our business owners. This is stuff like retargeting. So where somebody comes to your website, we can follow them around. So this is used with pixels. These are used with little files that we install to people's browsers once they join a landing page. So let me break that process down very quickly. So I was on Amazon last night, and I'm in, Playa del Carmen. There's beautiful beaches out here, and I want to do some drone footage and do some filming for my own personal brand and some other businesses that I have. And I'm looking at Amazon, and there's like drones for $2 grand, $5 grand, and it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'm looking at drones for like 20 grand and 15 grand. There's no way that I should be recording, or there's no way that I should be buying drones for that amount of price. So I come to my senses at the end of the day, and I shut my browser down. When I wake up this morning, on my Facebook, in my Google, in my Gmail, there are people, those drones are looking right at me. They're like, hey, we know that you're interested in buying this drone, so here's a link from Amazon, and Amazon follow me around. And that's the same kind of marketing tactics that we can give these small businesses access to. So they're getting access to Amazon's marketing techniques. We can also do stuff like chatbots. We can do Facebook Messenger ads. There's just a million different things that we can do. And don't worry about that. That's where I come in. And we're going to cover a lot of those bleeding edge marketing tactics as we go together. But I just want to let you know that we offer a superior product with a superior competitive advantage to the marketplace. Most businesses right now, and I'm going to say that again, most businesses right now at the end of 2017 going into 2018 do not have an in-house social media marketing person. And if they do, they're just some kid who just graduated college that knows a little bit more than they do. What we're offering are experts that are world-class, that are able to fulfill high-quality products at a very, very low cost, and we offer financing. So that is the reason I'm here. We offer a unique selling proposition. Before we jump over to the next part, I know I cut out there for those of you guys who are catching this live, but I'm recording this, so I'm back now. Does anybody have any questions on the USP that we offer? Unique selling proposition. Just gonna wait a few seconds, and then move on to the next part, unless we have any questions. Alrighty, up next, we're going to move over to the tools of the trade. This is what's gonna help you land those deals. So first and foremost, we're gonna cover lead sources here in just a bit, but when it comes to your sources, your tools that you use, first and foremost, and this is Google Chrome browser extensions for most of these. First and foremost, you want to use hunter.io. This allows us to be able to find emails from any website. So for example, let's say that I want to get an email from Slack. I can just type in slack.com. And now at the click of a button, these are all the emails at Slack. Now, obviously, we don't want to go after Slack. They're a huge corporation. They're going to want to work with somebody a little bit, bigger, and we wouldn't be able to fulfill their needs. They're just huge. But if we're looking up a small business, and if anybody has a small business they're trying to close right now, please put that link in the chat, and I'll show you how this works for them. But from here, we can take their email, and then we can email them directly. And when it comes to emails, there's a tool that I use called Sales Handy. And this is just top notch. First and foremost, that Slack email that I just got, I can paste that right in here. Sorry about that. Let me pull this over here. So tax@slack.com. I'm going to copy this. So I got this copied. I'm jumping over to my Gmail, tax@slack.com. Now, automatically, if you look down here, and again, this is because I have the Sales Handy Google Chrome plugin installed. I can just hit templates. My templates pop up, and I've got a bunch of different emails that I can send out to them. This is one of the emails that I personally send out. this is demonstrating $1 million case study for one of my campaigns, and it's got a call to action. So just to break down, I get their email with one click. I copy their email. I go to my Gmail. I put it there, and then I use Sales Handy with one of my templates, and you can create your own template. The takeaways are you want them to be super quick, super short, and ideally, if you have some kind of social proof or some kind of case study, you want to put that here. And we're going to accumulate those as a team, as an organization with Sales Handy as we start to land more and more clients. So I paste the image here so they can see it if they're on their phone, their tablet, or they can just click on it. But I also put this here. So it's called Sales Handy, and here's the link. I'm putting the link right now, and to get this, you can go to bit.ly/SalasET. That's the one that I use, bit.ly, and I'm going to show you guys how to get there. bit.ly/SalasET. This is absolutely free. There is no charge for this on the basic version, and it'll take you to Sales Handy right there. So that's the step. We're going to be looking into getting you guys a team account with this, so we can all share the same templates, we can all share the same assets, and you don't have to worry about typing that stuff. So that's a little bit later. We just got started, so I don't want to delve down that path just yet, but this is exactly what I use now. The awesome part about this, and the reason why you need to be doing this, is number one, you can see this is how I got in with Michael. let me actually show this to Michael real quick. So let me look for Michael. Where was he? So I can see all the emails that were sent out. I can also sort by opens, and I think Michael's going to be the amount of he's going to be up here with a lot of people, a lot of opens, I think. Let's find him. So let me go to the next. You know what? I think it's like only in like the last week. There he is, right there. So I can see that he has 6 opens on one of my emails right there, and I can track him. So this is all of my interactions with Michael. These are all the emails, and I can see when he opened them. I can see that he was interested, and I'm going to show you just a little bit more of the cool features that we have. So right over here, I can see cities, the location. I can see what browser they're using, and I can see if they're on a desktop, a PC, a Mac, an iPhone, a BlackBerry, an Android, any kind of smartphone. It'll tell me a lot of that information right there. And this is crucial because if I see somebody that opens up this email, I know they're super interested. For example, I just sent this email to a co-working place here in Playa, and I can see that they've opened up my email 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and I know they're very, very interested in working with me. So this is where you have to come in on your own, or your assistant has to come in, or your team member, and they have to be very, very mindful of the activities that are going on with your tools, with these awesome technologies that we have. But if you're not monitoring this, if no one is looking at this, then it's very, very hard to know which one of your clients are interested. And I can't tell you how many times that I've sent out an email a month ago, a week ago, 6 months ago, and then when somebody reopens that email, I then start over from scratch and I reach out to them again. And I'm constantly blowing this up. By the way, guys, this isn't a magic bullet. This is just one piece of the puzzle. This is one little piece because I'm still cold calling them on the phone. I know, you don't want to call them. I hear you already, but it's part of the game. It's part of the hustle. I'm calling them. I'm texting them. I'm finding them on LinkedIn. I'm adding them on LinkedIn. And so let me show you the LinkedIn game real quick, because once you find out people's emails, you can look them up on LinkedIn. You can find them. It's very, very easy to reach out to them. You can also see what their organization's like and who's there with them. So let's see. I'm actually gonna do some. There we go. So this guy or this girl, Ricky McClendon, just accepted my friend request or my connection here on LinkedIn. So these are the people that recently connected with right here. Right here, business development specialist right here, Ricky. So I'm gonna click on her. She's in one of my marketplaces in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I can message her and just reach out to her and say, hey, I saw you're a business development specialist. Would love to connect. Again, going back to our training, lead generation. The mindset is to make a first impression. I am not trying to sell her. I'm trying to make a first impression, and I'm trying to gather information from her. So say it one more time, because repetition is the mother of all skill. When I first reach out to Ricky, I am not trying to sell her. I am trying to make an impression with her. I want to let her know how I can help her business, and I want to offer her some different ways that we could collaborate, work together, or establish referrals amongst each other because we're in a similar space. So again, I'm making a first impression and I'm gathering information. What are their goals? Who are the decision makers? Who are the influencers? And I'm going to take a little brief moment to talk about the influencers, because I can't tell you right now, me and Mr. Nathan Brown, we are working on a real estate investment firm. There's 3 partners, and we've got a hold of one of the partners. And I asked Mr. Brown, is one of the partners that we're going to present to, is that person the decision maker? He's not the decision maker. He doesn't handle the decision on $40,000 or $50,000 investments. So, and I know I just cut out there, so I'm going to say that again. We want to figure out who are the influencers in that space. And with Mr. Brown, he's got somebody who has 3 partners in a real estate firm. We're meeting with one of them. We asked that person, are you the decision maker on a $5,000 investment? He says, no, I'm not. But he's the first line of defense. He's an influencer. We have to sell him, and then he's going to sell his partners, and then we move on to the next step. So that's what our intention is there. But let's say Ricky and I are now connected. First and foremost, LinkedIn is going to send her an email, so she's seeing my name. She's getting familiar with me. I'm then going to come down here, and I'm going to endorse just one skill. With that skill endorsement, LinkedIn just sent her another email saying, hey, Frank Salas just endorsed you for an organization skill. Guess what I'm going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow, I'm coming back here, and I'm going to endorse communication. Guess what I'm going to do 2 days from now? I'm coming back here, and I'm going to endorse her for leadership. Guess what I'm going to do 4 days from now? I'm going to endorse her for team leadership. Guess what I'm going to do 5 days from now? I'm going to endorse her for training. Guess what I'm going to do 6 days from now? I'm going to endorse her for public speaking. I'm going to do this, and she is either going to tell me, Frank, stop endorsing me, which she won't do, or she's going to reach out to me and be more open to what I have to offer. And this is just one super quick way for us to follow up on a lead from one of the lead sources, which I'm about to share with you. And we're going to go into that a little bit later. So that's Sales Handy. Before I jump on, I know I covered a lot with Hunter.io and Sales Handy, and I also know that I cut out for the live recording of this. Does anybody have any questions when it comes to Hunter.io or Sales Handy? Please, I would love to spend some time on that, because if you don't master that, we're not going to be able to go to the next step. So any questions, guys? If you got it, tell me, Frank, I got it. It's very clear. Really appreciate it. If there's questions, please state your questions now. So Randy says, got it. Brian says, brilliant. Really appreciate the love, guys. Really appreciate the love. All right, guys. Assuming there's no more questions, I'm going to move on to the next step. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I have to share my desktop for this next part. So 1 second. Here we go. So this is a tool that's going to save you a lot of time. Remember, all of these tools that I'm sharing with you are low cost or no cost, but they are going to cost your time, your energy, and your investment. So this is a tool called Phrase Express. I'm going to put that here in the chat for you, or you can just easily Google Phrase Express. I'm going to be twisting Michael's arm to get us a corporate account with this so we can all have a template shared database. But for now, in order to follow the MVP business model, which is a term that you guys want to write down, I'm going to put this in the chat, MVP business model. This stands for minimum viable product. Our duty to our business and our clients is to offer them an MVP, a minimum viable product. We want to say, look, You don't have 3 to 7,000 grand per month to drop to a marketing agency. You don't have $40,000 starting to give to another mouth to feed at your business. What we're offering is we're offering a minimum viable product. And most business owners, bless their heart, they don't know what that means. And that means that we want to take the minimum amount of resources. That's where the M comes in. Minimum amount of resources. This is time, energy, money. Take the minimum amount of resources and take that to the marketplace and have a proof of concept. You're going to write that term down. Proof of concept. This is going to show them that you walk the walk and you're going to talk the talk. And you don't have to, or that you talk the talk and that you walk the walk. You don't have to worry about walking the walking because the back end here at Ezzey is going to handle the walking of the walk. You just have to talk the talk. And when you say stuff like MVP, minimum viable product, proof of concept, you're going to get them to relax and understand that you're the expert and that you got a team surrounding you that's going to fulfill and deliver on these things. So once you say, look, I'm giving you the minimum, you're going to give me the minimum amount of resources, and I'm going to go to the marketplace and have a proof of concept. Then once we have that, then we're going to scale. Then I'm going to come, Mr. Business Owner, and ask you, I'm going to break your door down and I'm going to ask you for more money, because at that point, I've already got you some ROI, return on investment. So make sure you write those terms down and speak that language, because their ears are going to perk up. Even if they don't understand it and you educate them on those terms and that terminology, they're going to get value from you. They're going to find your presence, your communication, your conversation, your emails, your text messages, your phone calls. They're going to know that when they speak with you, they're going to learn some cool stuff when it comes to marketing. And that is going to build that trust. Just like Michael was bringing up earlier, that know, like, and trust factor. This is how you get that. So I want to share with you guys one of the emails that I use. This is, laser guided offers to your most profitable customers. This is a email that I send out to people. This is just a subject line. I love to use emojis in my emails, and the reason for that is because it stands out more than any other email. It's ridiculous how many people will actually open up an email based on the emojis. And final thing on emojis is that if you see this rocket ship, your brain as a human being has no choice but to perceive a rocket ship and all of the effects that come with that. The money flying away sign, same thing. Your brain has no choice, zero choice. You are programmed to see the colors, the image, the meaning. You have to process that as a human being. There's no human being on this planet, unless they're blind, who cannot have that effect with this marketing effect. So I just want to make that a point. And the way that you get your emojis onto your screenshots is onto your subject lines is by using this. So let me share my screen again. It's emoji stuff, Google Chrome. Just go there and type in emoji stuff, Google Chrome. I believe it's this one right here. There it is right there. And all you got to do is add to Chrome. And now, whenever I'm typing stuff, I just click this. And here's why I like it. So a lot of you guys might be using the Mac and say, oh, that's cool, Frank. I got a Mac and, I can do the emojis manually and blah, blah, blah. Great. My intention is to save you time, because time is our most valuable resource when it comes to lead generation. And you can search by emoji. So I can say heart and all the heart emojis come up. You can't do that with the Mac. It's not possible. I can say money and all the money emojis pops up there. Or I can say up. I love using this one right here. This gets them to perceive an influx, a graph going up, raising. They see it as a positive. They see it as more. So those are the different things that I do on there. So back to the phrase express, because I want to finish up that super cool tool. So I'm on phrase express. I can come over here to client acquisition and I can right click. I'm going to type a new phrase, and this could say, let's see, follow up to email. And I could say blah, 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 blah. And let me insert a photo real quick, which is this right here, join our team, or whatever that looks like, blah, 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 blah. value, value, value. Here's a call to action. So obviously that would be, done out, and so on and so forth. Here's the real takeaway. I can come up here and I can put an abbreviation and I can put hashtag SMMA, Social Media Marketing Agency 1. And now that follow-up email is already there. So to demonstrate some value for you guys, let's say I don't want to send Slack this email. This email, I'm not there yet. And I want to type hashtag SMMA1. I hit space, boom. And there it is. There she blows. It doesn't do the images just yet on Google, but I was just kind of showing you that for example. And that's a way for you to have like a little bank of phrases, a little bank of words for you to be able to quickly send out messages very, very easily. Track your messages using Sales Handy and go from there. So I spent a little bit more time on Sales Handy and Phrase Express than I wanted to, but those are very, very important. And if, I would rather spend the rest of the time tomorrow finishing up that training than to breeze over that. So before I go on to the next few things, does anybody have any questions when it comes to Hunter.io, Sales Handy, or Phrase Express? Does anybody not see the value in this? Because if you don't see the value in this, I haven't done my job. This makes my life insanely easier, and that for the people that I work with in my team internally. I'm not going to move forward until I get a verbal or written confirmation that you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, because this is super important. Brian says, fantastic. Nathan says, can I do a quick repeat? Matthew says, awesome stuff. And Randy says, I understand this clearly. Perfect. Really appreciate the feedback. Real quick, I'm going to go over a quick breakdown. So let's say I go to slack.com and I'm like, okay, Slack's looking for marketing help, or Slack needs some marketing help. I'm going to go to hunter.io. I'm going to type in the email and I'm going to pull out the information and I'm going to collect all these emails. I'm then going to go to my Gmail after installing the Sales Handy Google Chrome plugin, which is right here. You can see this little SH right here. You have to download that. You got to download the plugin in order for this template to pop up. So then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to click on the template, and I'm going to, this is my laser guided offer right here. This is what that looks like. And here, I'm going to read it to you real quick. Facebook knows everything about us. It even knows how much of a video we watch. That's why my agency exclusively runs with video ads for myself and my clients that I serve. Allow me to elaborate on my sophisticated marketing strategy. First, my agency creates a video post. Secondly, blah, blah, blah. So I walk them through the process. I show them screenshots. And then here, I give them a link to my Calendly. And we don't have a back-end operations for you just yet, but in the future, we will have a collective, booking feature so people can book with you specifically automatically through Ezzey's platform. So, let's say somebody reads that, they click on that, it'll take them to Calendly, which is something that I use personally. By the way, this is only $10 per month. I use this for my personal, for whatever. And they click on this and this shows, okay, like tomorrow I'm booked out. I can only meet, 4:30 to 6:30, somewhere between those times. And I'm giving them value and a call to action. And if they open that, Sales Handy will tell me that they open that. Here's the crazy thing. This is nuts, guys. Sales Handy will actually, so this is my portfolio that I send out to people. This is my screenshot that I send out to people. Sales Handy will actually, if I click on performance right here, they will actually tell me, like this person right here looked at all 11 pages of my portfolio, and they spent 5 hours on Sales Handy. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm seeing? Okay, you're okay. Sorry about that, guys. I wasn't showing the right thing. Okay, cool. So this is what I was showing. So if I come to Sales Handy right over here, I go to my files. I click on this right here. I click on performance. I can see that they viewed 11 pages of my portfolio and that they spent a total of 5 hours looking at this. So this person right here is really interested, or I can scroll down and I can see that this particular person right here is really interested in this, and they saw 5 pages of my portfolio, and they only saw about 45% of it, and they spent about 30 seconds. So it allows me to know who is interested in what. And then when it comes to my emails, I can look at the people who last opened my emails over here as well. So this kind of lets me know who's the most relevant people to reach out to. So these people all within the last 3 hours reached out, or I'm sorry, opened up my emails, and I can now follow up with them. I even send people that says, hey, I saw you looking at my email. Let's work together. Like this person, Jai Sell, said steps to work with Frank. They opened up my email 16 times. I know they're very, very interested in working together. So I'm just going to check the chat real quick. Brandon says he needs to watch the recording. Awesome. I am recording this. All right. So that was the quick recap of Sales Handy. Make sure that you guys get emoji stuff. This is what you want to get. I'm going to put it here in the chat for you guys. That's going to separate you from all of the other emails going into people's inbox. It's just another little thing. And if you do the little things right every single day, you're going to get a lot of success. So going back to the Google Chrome plugins, and I think I'm going to wrap this up here. We may need to have lead sources come to tomorrow because this is super important. Or I might be able to breeze through. I just don't want to breeze through the lead sources. We'll have to decide that in here in about 10 or 15 minutes. Anywho, another page that I want us to go look at, another extension that I want us to look at is Facebook Pixel Helper. Facebook Pixel Helper will allow us to find out if they're retargeting in their business or not. So for example, let's say I go to, I'm drawing a blank, let's say I'm going to, let me look for online poker. I'm just gonna do a quick Google search for online poker. And it's loading up. Oh, this is a perfect example right here. So online poker, let's go to partypoker.com. I click on party poker right over here. So we're going to their website. This could be, just imagine this is one of your prospects' websites. If you notice right here on the Pixel Helper, they found a pixel on there, which means that they just planted a file on my browser, on my Facebook profile, on my phone, on my tablet, and they are now going to follow me around, or at least have the opportunity to market to me because they know that I visited their website and there's a file installed in my Facebook account. This allows them to go to Facebook, make an ad, and only market to people that visited this site. This is huge because most businesses don't have this. And this is an opportunity for you to educate them and make an impression about retargeting and how that helps their business grow. So that's the first, that's the next Google Chrome plugin you want to install is the Facebook Pixel Helper. If they don't have a Facebook Pixel Helper, that means that they are not retargeting, and there's an opportunity to retarget the people that are coming to their website. And if they don't see the value in that, say, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, you have a website, you're spending money now, ideally, driving traffic to that website, but you're not retargeting to the people that go to your website, you are leaving money on the table, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner. And it is my duty to educate you on this. And it's my duty to offer a recommendation for us to go to your business and install this Facebook Pixel to allow you to retarget them in the future. And this makes it to where when they get the Pixel installed, they're like, okay, now I got the Pixel installed, but what do I do next? Well, that's where we come in, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, because if they knew how to market with a Facebook Pixel, they would have already had a Facebook Pixel on there. And that's where we come in, and that's where we start to show the value. That's where we start to get that happen. Randy asked a great question. Do I have to be logged into my Facebook in order for the Pixel to know that I visited the particular prospect website? No, not at all. The only thing you need to be able to know and make certain that they have a Pixel is to download this Pixel, the Facebook Pixel Helper, which is a free Google Chrome plugin that you can download on there. The same thing with Twitter. they have a Twitter picture helper on there as well. So we know that this company, partypoker.com, is now going to follow me around on Facebook and Twitter. And this is a huge opportunity for us to take their existing marketing efforts, even if they're not marketing, even if they're just handling or handing out business cards and trying to get people to their website. You can ask them how many people are coming to your website. Most people don't know, but if they do know, all you got to do is install these and say, look, you're not maximizing your return on investment on your website. By the way, your website sucks, and we can do that for you too, and blah, blah, blah. And move on to the next step. So Randy says, will the poker site know that you are Randy? Yes, they will know that you are Randy even though you're not logged into your Facebook, because Facebook is really sneaky and really smart, and they already asked for your permission to be able to be on in the background. That's part of their terms of service. So yes, they will know that you're on there and they will follow you around. And if not, Facebook and Twitter will install a secret file on your computer and on your browser and on your devices that will say the next time that you set up a Facebook account, if you don't have one, or the next time that you log in, it'll automatically load up and show that to you. So it's super smart, and you don't have to worry about the how. That's where I come in, and the back end operations come in. But you just need to know, you need to be aware about it. So great question, Randy. I like questions like that because it helps us clarify a lot of the things. So just to recap, Facebook Pixel Helper and Twitter Pixel Helper. And then finally, the last thing that we want to go over on the tools of the trade, at least for this training, is Nimbus. Let me show you what Nimbus looks like. If I click on this little Nimbus right here and I click on selected area, I can now take a picture of this. I can hit edit. This is a free plugin, by the way, and I can now start to, maneuver things around and, say, send them quick little snapshots of what it looks like to do business with them. Say, this needs a stronger call to action, and obviously move it over here. Take this arrow. I can put another circle around this, or another square. And I could say another thing like, new logo recommended, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z, so on and so forth. So this is just a quick way for us to show them their own work and what that looks like. So that's called Nimbus. Nimbus. That's free. And I'm going to put that here in the chat. Nimbus. Nimbus Google Chrome extension. All right, so I have 9 minutes, which will not do this just for this, but I want to very quickly go over the lead sources. I'll probably follow up with this on tomorrow's training, but these are the different lead sources. Again, going back to the first part of lead generation, and we want to talk about the qualified lead right here. They must see marketing as an investment and not an expense. And the best way that I know for the last decade of me being in this space to find people who see marketing as an investment and not an expense is by finding people who are already marketing in radio, mail out, newspapers, magazines, billboards. These people in these particular segments right here, they're already spending several thousands of dollars on a contract every single month to third-party sources to get their brand out there. They can't measure who opens it. They can't track who takes the call to action. And the best thing they can do is offer some kind of discount, which is like 20% off or blah, blah, blah. Most of this stuff goes in the trash. And one thing that I'm going to recommend to you, and I'm going to shut this off so you can see my face to know that I'm not pulling your chain. Straight up, the best way for me to get these leads is for me to go to an apartment complex where the mail is, and I go look at the recycling bin, and I go dumpster diving, and I pull out all the ads, all the coupons. I open them up, and I'm looking for the small and local medium-sized businesses. The corporations are harder to get to unless you've been established for a while, and that's not our market segment. We're looking for mom and pop, small businesses, and medium businesses. I'm going to say that again. I want you to dig through the trash for coupons, mail outs, In newspapers, I want you to go through that and just spend the day. And then you go to hunter.io, you send them out some emails, you follow up with them, you look them up on LinkedIn, you go through that whole process. And I'm going to cover that more in the next training when it comes to follow-up. But that's the first start right there. I know it sounds crazy. You're like, who does this guy Frank think he is? I'm telling you, it works. I've been doing it for a decade. Just do it. If you do it, 5 times and it doesn't work out, then tell me to go jump in a lake. But I promise you it works if you do all the little things every now and then, or every single time, not just every now and then. So those are the ones that I like to look at, and I use what you just saw, that process. Then BNI, business networking groups. Those might cost a lunch, $10 here, $5 there, $20 here, maybe like a few $100 for the year. If you're not there yet, go ahead and do the other sources first. And that's BNI. Ismaray says, it doesn't sound crazy. That is very smart. For sure. Randy says, will I please upload today's training with clear audio, my notes, and PowerPoints, screenshots? Yeah, you guys will have this, and we'll get there to the next level. So one other thing, and this is probably a great one for you guys. The Chamber of Commerce is great. If you can join your local community and be like the marketing guy there and just educate people, like Instagram just did this change, or Twitter just went from 140 characters to 200 characters or 280 characters, and it just doubled their tweet size. And this is what this means. You can just educate them by just offering them value, and then they'll come to you and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know that about Twitter, or I didn't know that about Facebook Live, or I didn't know that about YouTube, or can you really get B2B leads from LinkedIn? They don't know these things, and if you just educate them, that's good. Your warm network will also suffice, but I put that at the very bottom because realistically, if you had somebody in your network right now that needed this stuff, you would have already sold to them. So anytime I come to the marketplace, in any product, any service, any new venture, I always challenge myself to go to my warm network last because I want to hone my skills in cold lead generation. I'm a cold-blooded killer because I follow these practices very, very well. Finally, I'm going to end with this. And this is Groupon. Groupon, if you don't know, is a website where small businesses offer deals to people. I'm gonna shut off my video. All right, so let's say, so this is my hometown of Fort Worth, Texas. I'm gonna hit search. So these are all the people in Fort Worth, Texas. This is great. This is a license to carry handgun course. I'm going to click on this. I see that, check this out. I see that they have over 1,000 people that already purchased. This is called proof of concepts. This business right here who sells CHL handgun courses, they've already sold over 1,000 courses for 1 or 2 people. And let's break this down very, very quickly. So I'm going to pull up my calculator so we can see the math. And I'm going to share my desktop. So you should be able to see my entire desktop. Please let me know if you cannot see my entire desktop. Okay, so they're selling, they had over 1,000 people purchase at $75. So they actually just made $75,000. If you don't know how Groupon works, Groupon takes half of that. So they only made $37,500, and Groupon pays them over 3 months in thirds. So every month they're getting a check for $12,500, which means they got money. But they might be losing money on the back end. Probably not, but they might not be making a little bit of profit. So to them, especially an uneducated small business owner, they're like, oh, I just made $35,000. I was like, really? Because the way that I see it, your normal price is $170. And if 1,000 people bought that at $170, you should have made $170,000, but you only made $35,000. So the way I see it, you lost $135,000. And now you just got to shut up. You just got to be quiet. You got to zip it and let that marinate. Because they're just like, damn, I just lost $135,000. And, you know, what we can do is we can say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, you already have a proof of concept. People want this. They want it at this price. They're already buying. if I could put your business in front of people that are interested in this kind of stuff, using Facebook ads, Twitter, Pinterest, social media, Google, all those kinds of things, would you offer the same deal and keep 100% of the profit? Well, every business is going to say, hell yeah. Hell yeah, they would. And the way you find them is you come down here, you click on their website, and now I come here. Number one, they've got no Facebook pixel, opportunity for retargeting. And I can even say here, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, you had over 2,000 people buy this from you. And that's not even counting the people that didn't buy from you, but went to your website. So you probably had an influx of traffic of people that were interested, but for whatever reason, they didn't buy. And you're not retargeting them. You're losing the opportunity to market to those people later. Same thing with Twitter. And now I come here, obviously their website needs help. We can use that as a selling point. But here I can just click on the hunter.io and boom, I found AJ's email right there. That's the owner, AJ. And I'm good to go. So with that, I'm going to end with 1 minute to spare. How'd you guys like the training?
Frank, I'll tell you, it was bad.